Just heard a noise crunching rocks. Had to be something big. So far, not as bad as it was talked up online. I'm gonna call this a bit harder. Final push to the summit. Straight up these rocks. Brutal. About 400 meters from the top, and I think I gotta call it. It's a little after 4 a.m. Taking pictures of the night sky has woken me up pretty much, so I think I'm gonna start breaking camp and just see how early I can get up there. Also, there's no bugs right now, so I'd love to clear camp out while I don't have any bugs bothering me. "5 a.m. and I'm off. Just heard a noise crunching rocks. Had to be something big. There are some people coming up from the left, but it sounded a lot closer than that. Took me a second to find the trail again, but there it is. Clear as day. So I'm not mistaken on my estimates. It's about 2 to 3 miles to the top. And if I'm not misunderstanding what I read online, it's gonna be a hard 2 to 3 miles. Got some kind of animal there. I'm gonna say deer. That was probably what was making the noise earlier. I thought earlier those were people coming for me. I think it was just the lights reflecting off of the deer. Look at it. Can you see it? Oh, there you go. You can see it in the camera. Well, I'm pretty sure whatever that is, it's an herbivore, but I'm going to keep an eye out for it. I didn't get a perfect look at it. We got the sun coming up. Started twilight. Still a little while before sunrise. Maybe a little hard to see in the dark, but this is the start of the switchback that goes up to Gunsight Pass right up here. Looks like it turns around right there and goes back. And this is where the rocky part starts, I think. I gotta say, so far, not as bad as it was talked up online. The trail is rocky, but easy to follow. Somewhere up there is my target. Not sure if it's what I'm looking at or something a little beyond. Oh, there's the first snow I've seen anywhere close to the trail. This little grassy knoll here is where the switchback switches back again. I'm gonna go over that pass and around this formation here. I think Kings Peak is gonna be behind it. So there's the valley I came from. This is the first time I've been able to see into the valley on the other side. I almost started going down this path, but that is incorrect. Is this it? Let me go down a little bit and see if I can identify it more clearly. Oh yeah, okay, this appears to be a path. Looks like I'm going towards that snowfield. The trail stays right below it. Shortly after the snowfield, I'm gonna call this a bit harder. It is steeper and rockier. This is a view you can only get if you walk here, I think. No other means of access. This sharp right turn here is about the steepest the trail has gotten yet. And also there's lots of loose rocks. So I think it's actually easier to kind of go up on the side here where there's some bigger ones. This isn't quite scrambling, but you could scramble this if you wanted to. It's not very long though. It ends right there. I noticed that this is not the right turn I'm looking for. The path keeps going straight that way, and the right turn is somewhere further up ahead. So this is getting kind of hard to follow in all trails. It looks like my path should be going up, so I think I should be up on that ridge there. But I didn't see a clear path to it. I'm gonna double back a little bit, try again. So that right there is the trail I thought I was following, but All Trails doesn't have it doubling back like that, so I thought I made a mistake, but that looks like a clearer trail than anything else I'm seeing, even though it's not quite following what All Trails is doing. I went over there. That's too low. Where I am now is too high, so I guess there's a little bit of scramble dance through those rocks, maybe right in the middle. Take 3 or 4, whatever I'm up to at this point. Well, best I can tell, the trail scrambles up there. This scramble right here wasn't too hard. Lots of steps to get up. There's multiple candidates for for what could be the trail. I don't think I've pinned it down yet, but per the map, I'm right on track. Up there, I think I see what's the tip of a cairn. That looks right where I want to go. Well, this kind of actually looks trail-ish again. There's another little tiny cairn right there. I feel like I'd rather go up these rocks than across this slippery dirt. So I think I'm just gonna ascend a bit. Well, that is definitely a human-made cairn. Somehow this is the trail. Finally, I'm back to trail at the next cairn. Now there's a barely noticeable dirt path that leads up to another cairn. I didn't see the next cairn there until I was nearly on top of it. Here, the visible dirt trail makes the same sharp right you see on the map, and I think up on the hill there, you can see the next cairn. This part after that right turn pretty much is perpendicular to the topographical line, so you are heading straight uphill. I can finally identify these with confidence. That there is Dome Peak. There's like an L over to the destination right there, King's Peak. So from this cairn, we're at maybe 1.5 miles to go, but it's gonna be a doozy. The trail is relatively flat along this side here. Then it goes around between that mountain and King's. Then we go up the ridgeline. So it's basically rock cairn navigation across this big field here next to Dome Peak. And there's actually some snow and ice that's pretty much in the trail. And that's where I gotta hike back today. Up there and to the left. I think we're looking at a false peak right there. That one little one peeking out on the left. I think that's the real one. Well, it looks like at this last segment before the turn, there's actually a very clear trail. That's a nice change of pace. Walking on these rocks sucks. That last trail got vague, rocks, whatever, but I was able to see this trail from a while away, and it looks like this is going to zip around and be pretty clear. Anderson Pass. It's time for a snack break before I go up that way. Had a snack, had some water. Final push to the summit. I think we do just scramble right up this. The quote-unquote trail just heads straight up these rocks. Whew, brutal. About 400 meters from the top, and I think I gotta call it. I got a cough that's kind of frothy, and that seems to be a symptom of altitude sickness. I don't feel anything else, but I don't want to mess around with that. 400 feet. Such a shame. Future me here. Let me explain a bit more about the decision to turn around. The night before, I got a cough. No big deal, I thought. But the next morning, as I climbed higher, it seemed to be getting worse. Then I remembered. A cough can be a symptom of high altitude pulmonary edema, or HAPE, a serious form of altitude sickness. No other symptoms, though. Was I making something out of nothing? I couldn't check online, no service. So I made the call, turn around. About 400 meters from the top, and I think I gotta call it. And the cough went away as I went down. Later, I learned HAPE starts with a dry cough, one that, quote, may become productive of blood-tinged, frothy sputum. Mine was never dry or blood-tinged. So did I have HAPE? Still not sure. But turning back, no regrets. The mountain will always be there. Well, I am most of the way back down through this rock field. Gunsight Pass is just around the bend. I can't wait to be out of this rock field. It's just so tedious to constantly stare down at your feet. Make sure you're stepping on a solid rock. Very much looking forward to the more normal trails down below. It's almost 11, almost back to Gunsight Pass. I got through the confusing rock/slippery trail part thanks to those two hikers up there. They seem to have known the way pretty well, and I just kind of followed them. So they're too far for me to thank, but thank you guys. It was already dark when I got to these rocks yesterday. I didn't notice they were like tiger striped. I wonder how that happens. I've hit the tree line. So this is back to my favorite part of this hike, these pine forests. I think this leaves me with like 6-ish miles, 5 or 6 miles to go. Definitely going slower than yesterday. The fatigue from the attempt is slowing me down. I can definitely tell, but I'm making good enough time. I should be back at the car by around dinner time. Back to this landmark. It's just about 6 o'clock, and here we are at the parking lot. Whew.